Hello everyone, welcome to Sky Academy College Counseling 101. It's great to see you all. Let's get started. I'm your college counselor, and today we're going to be talking about choosing the right major. So one of the biggest questions we've always had since we started high school is, what is it that I want to study? What kind of major do I want to pick? And today I want to tackle with you the certain aspects that's very important when you're thinking about choosing the major that you want to study. This concept can change a lot. Sometimes I've met people in their life that's changed their majors a lot, even when they get into college. But if you want to learn more about how it is you could choose that topic now, let's get into it. So the first thing is, there is a pressure when you're trying to choose a major, and that exists. You have to acknowledge that. That pressure be from your parents, that pressure be from your community, or within yourself, thinking, okay, what is it that I want to study and what is it do I want to do? So you want to ask yourself, what is it that you see that you could be doing for the rest of your life, right? And this has to be something that you enjoy. A lot of the times what occurs is sometimes people choose a major, and that major that they want to do really doesn't align with what they're passionate about. For instance, a family might be in the field of medical school, doctors, and the student might be interested in doing pre-med. However, they might not really be qualified to do so. So you really want to ask yourself, do you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life, and do you enjoy it? The next thing we want to talk about is what major would be correlating with what it is you want to do, right? For instance, if you're into interests of drawing, right, and making sculptures and images, maybe architecture is a field that you can study, but that's, again, up to you and trying to find that. But the truth here is most college students change their major once or twice when they're in college. So if you're a student in high school and you're still trying to explore, do not feel like the pressure's on you. As I said, you want to think once, think twice, and learn more about the fields that exist. One other way of being able to choose your major is being able to gain experience while trying to learn more about that major. For instance, if you're going to study law, right, being able to do an internship in a law firm, right, and gaining experience from people that are in that field will gain you a lot of insight into possibly choosing the major that you might be interested in. Another thing is passion versus practicality. So passion is the thing that you love. Music, psychology, art, history, whatever that may be, right? And then practicality is what feels safe, right? Like nursing, engineering, computer science. These are fields that we feel more confident about. When you're choosing, you want to be able to choose the one that matters for you the most. If you're someone that thinks that practicality is where they want to go by, then by all means, that could work as well. I don't say that you can't choose a field in that respect. However, if you have a passion towards something, and if you're worried about the practicality, then you want to consult with your college counselors, right, with your advisors at school, and ask them what kind of opportunities exists within the passion that you have. Because we also have to be realistic, right? Finding a balance is very important. You might think to yourself, okay, I want to study arts, right? But how realistic is it for you to be successful in that field, right? Are you going to be able to get a career? Are you going to be able to, find a job and be able to have a successful life? If you feel doubtful about that, then you want to consult and see what it is that you can do with that major. Maybe that major might not be able to provide you a lot of resources, so then you might want to consider that as a minor. So in college, there are opportunities of choosing, double majors or even having a minor option. So it's very critical to be able to evaluate, okay, this field I want to study. However, how successful can I be in this field? What does the future job outlooks look like in this field? And this is something, as I said, you could either research, ask your counselors, but as I said, do not feel the overwhelming pressure, especially if you're a freshman, sophomore, even a junior in high school. If you're a senior, I get it. You need to start deciding because you're going to apply to college. But then again, I've known a lot of people that change their majors once they're in college. For instance, recently I met with a friend who was in Princeton that changed their major from a social field to a science field once they got into the university. So that option is out for you guys too, and be aware of that. So another thing is finding the balance. You want to pay attention to what you actually like. As I said, if you hate math, but you're forcing yourself into engineering, then because of the paycheck, there's a problem that can arise because of that. You want to check, as I said, what careers exist in that lane. You could do this by searching online, from Google. You can use platforms like Naviance. A lot of schools use this platform where there's the most updated information about the job sector and what kind of opportunities are out there and the rise in positions, as well as just your own search if you want so. And do a reality check. Go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and learn about the job growth. ONET is a great resource as well that you can use online. If you search ONET and job opportunities, it'll provide you insights into what kind of jobs you could find in the major that you want to study. And finally, I want to mention, as I said, avoid external pressure, right? Parents might be like, hey, you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, pick this field. I get it. You want to consult with them, always talk with them as well. However, what really matters is where do you see yourself being able to study and do what it is that you want to do, right? And if you're still exploring, as I said, that's fine. One other option that I could give out to you guys is take an assessment test. So if you guys are not aware of what assessment tests are, they are tests designed for you to learn more about yourself, okay? Some assessment tests are free, online you could access, some cost a little bit. For instance, if you have the Naviance platform, you could use assessment tests for free, right? In the schools, if you're in high school, most likely your school provides sometimes the platform Naviance. And why does this help? You get to learn more about your personality. The more you know about who you are, what your strengths are, the more possible it is you'll choose what major it is you will study and what that major will lead into as to what you want to become. Is all majors going to correlate to the field that you want to be in? Maybe not, right? You could study a minor, as I said, or a double major, and that major can be just for the sake of you enjoying that, or because you had passion in learning that subject. For instance, someone can be studying an engineering field and have an anthropology minor. If you want to learn more about what anthropology means, please search online. If you do know, it's a very interesting field. So in that context, you might think to yourself, okay, I want to learn about this field because it's fun, it's exciting, but I don't see myself doing that. That's totally fine. As I said, you could have a double major, minors, but again, you want to know exactly where it is that you're going with your future and have more awareness of that. And if you don't, you have to find avenues to educate yourself more in that context, and that's very, very important. So some practical tips I gave you, but final practical tips would be, test drive classes. So meaning take classes in high school that you find interest in, attend clubs. I always mention this to students. Outside of class, go to clubs that you find interesting to yourself, that you might see yourself doing. For instance, if you're interested in law, if you're interested in the social fields, joining a Model UN club will give you a lot of insight into possibly being interested in that field or continuing doing that. If you're interested in the pre-med program, going into a medical club, if the school provides that, and learning more about that can give you a lot of insight. If you're interested in doing social work, right, volunteering and helping people out, being opening your own nonprofit, right, joining a club that has a lot of like Red Cross, right, has a lot of opportunities that provides you volunteering cases, can help you as well. So both ways, go to classes, learn from your teachers and the subjects, but along with that, attend clubs and outside of class activities that can help you learn a lot. I also mentioned shadowing people. That's very important to do that. Definitely find resources, connect with the people that you might know, and talk to real people that are experienced within the field that you might be interested in studying. So all in all, it's very important to find a major that you want to study, and do not be worried if you feel like you're not there yet. That's fine. You have a lot of time, but it's important that you work consistently in trying to find what it is that you want to do. Sometimes you might know what it is you want to do, and then you might change it in the future. So that's also something that occurs often as well, as I said. But be aware that it's going to come from within you. So have that passion, have that desire, and also think about the practical ways that you're going to be able to implement that major in the future. I know AI is coming and it's existing, and a lot of people sometimes have concerns about that. You want to also be aware of what the trends show with AI increasing, what kind of job opportunities there will be, and how your sector will be in the future in that context. But that should not keep you away from pushing yourself, because the more talented you are in your field, the more opportunities you'll be able to find a job. That's the most critical thing. I always tell people, a major is very important and a degree is as well, but the skills and attributes that you provide along with that goes a long way. So your technical skills, meaning how you speak, how you work with your coworkers, and your personality, right? What kind of character you resemble, Those things go a long way along with your major. So do not think just because you majored with one field that's very prestigious from a college that you'll automatically get a job. It also matters that you work outside of that too. But of course, major matters. And today we talked about that. So I appreciate your time. Hopefully you guys will find the major you guys like. And I'll see you guys next time in another episode of College Counseling 101. Thank you.